thank you so much for tuning in to the terrific podcast, or if your name is Terry like mine is, it's the Terrific podcast for business. And I am Terry, your host. So thank you for tuning in today. I have the honor and privilege of having an awesome conversation with a nutritionalist, a certified nutritionalist that I have been friends with for many years. Audretta Hall is with us today, and she has not only worked in nutrition, but she herself has lost over 100 pounds and has kept it off, which is really the key at the end of the day, is keeping it off. Because I don't know about you, but I've lost hundreds of pounds and I'm still overweight. It's because I keep losing that same damn 10 pounds over and over again.
Yes, isn't it funny?
So Audretta, thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, I do appreciate you having me on here, and it is a privilege and an honor. Yes, we have known each other for a number of years and been, working in the business community. You did on the business side, I was more on the health and wellness side, but we always managed to do things together. So I greatly appreciate that.
We sure have. And I think it's because there is an overlap, and a lot of business owners, we just are thinking about our business and don't realize how much our health actually overlaps into our business. But if we look at our business leaders and our success leaders across the nation, they all focus in on physical fitness. And nutrition. And so I wanted to have you on the show so that maybe you could shed a little light on how do we eat conveniently and healthily for our brain to function the way that it needs to as business owners.
Well, I tell you, you hit the nail on the head. I've talked with and worked with several corporate leaders, and they treat their bodies like it's a corporation. They get the exercise they need. I know most of them are part of Spartan running type of activities, something that challenges them. Once they get past doing, I guess, a personal trainer, they move up to like Spartan runs, and they're literally eating to keep their brains and their bodies more active and agile, so that they are able to have more connective and cognitive speaking during meetings that last for 5, 6, 7 hours. So they pretty much train their bodies like it's going to be in a mental, emotional, and physical marathon every day. Because they got 600, 700 people reporting to them.
Wow.
So how do you treat yourself like that? You are a corporation. You're your corporation. If you're a small business owner, more than likely you're the HR person and you're the CEO, the CFO. You're wearing all of those hats. Everything is falling on you. So it is of the utmost importance that you take care of you. And one thing I heard a long time ago, they said, if you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live?
Yeah.
So how do you do that? So mental focus is one of the key things for business. And you tell me where I'm wrong. Have you had brain fog around 3:00 in the afternoon?
Oh, yeah. There used to be. So before I became a vegetarian, I would hit 3:00 in the afternoon and be ready for a nap.
Okay. So one of my first tips, because this is Terry's tips, right?
Yeah.
Is to avoid that 3:00 brain fog. Not 5 cups of coffee, guys. About 1:00 in the afternoon, drink a 16-ounce bottle of water and eat an apple. Now, why does that help? One, that 3:00 lag basically means you're dehydrated. You're an entrepreneur. You're going 100 miles an hour. You haven't taken a break. You got to answer these calls. You got to make this delivery. You got to finish this proposal. And then you look up and it's 3, 4 o'clock and you're winding down. Well, your body actually needs water, and that apple has enough nutrients in it to keep you going. So doing that at about 1:00 will actually give you the equivalent feel of having 3 cups of coffee. Boom.
So and the other benefit to that is instead of it being manufactured sugar, it's a natural sugar.
Natural sugar.
And it's being processed differently in our body, right?
Absolutely. Your body, and one of the worst things that happened to America is the diet soda. I'm gonna go off on a tangent for a second, but it's no natural sugar. Your body, your tongue tastes that sugar, but your brain realizes that it isn't. So then you end up craving even more sugar. So that sugar, that natural fructose in that apple, along with, if you eat a red apple, it actually has quercetin in the core of the apple. The actual color is a chemical phytonutrient that reduces inflammation in your body. Then the apple core, the skin of the apple, extra fiber, so it keeps your blood sugar level longer, so you're not as hungry. So you won't have the cravings that you normally have. So just this one tip, just drink a little bit of water, about 16-ounce bottle of water, about 1 o'clock, and have an apple, and you'll get rid of that dip and thing. So the next one you want to get rid of is brain fog. When do you normally experience your brain fog?
I actually don't anymore. When I was eating meat, I experienced it a lot more.
Okay, I'll tell you why, but go ahead.
But now that I've been vegetarian, I really don't have the brain fog happen. I feel pretty on point when I am during my business day. I will say generally around 5 or 6 o'clock, though, I'm ready to be done working and do something fun.
So a couple things on that. We'll start out with a fact that I get excited about, and I just have to calm myself down. I am from Michigan, so when I get excited, I talk really fast. So your brain, your body is basically has two brains. You have your brain that's in your head, and then you have your other brain that's actually in your digestive system. I know most people don't know that. You have as many neurons in your digestive tract as you do in your brain. So so
you actually can think with your stomach? That's not a good thing.
A little further. Yeah, your butt, pretty much works like that. Your intestines, your small intestines, they have neurons that send out signals from your brain. So if your intestines are clogged up, your second brain is clogged up. So some of that fog you're experiencing is that your neurons aren't able to fire off as much as they can because they're clogged up. Now, when you're a heavy meat eater, then your digestive system is a lot slower because it takes sometimes up to 30 days to process red meat. Yeah, 30 days in your system. I know, for red meat. So that's why people say, do you eat meat? I say, yes, I do, but it's about once a month because I know it's going to be another 30 days before it cycles through. But you do want to make sure that you, for good cognitive ability, start with your digestive tract. Literally clean it out. I'm talking just lemon water in the morning, lemon water before you go to bed, little bit of detox tea, increase your fiber to 25 to 40 grams, water, half your weight in ounces. There's a whole bunch of formulas you can do, but just concentrating on gut health, that clean feeling, you're able to think even faster.
And I think that's something that actually has worked well for me because I drink a ton of water, and not only do I drink water, I drink the Kangen water for starters, and then I also do and I also do lemon in my water as well. So I think that's why I don't have as much brain fog as I used to, because I just drink so much water.
You drink water, you're vegetarian, so you don't have that meat flowing through you. So your digestive tract, your second brain is on fire. It is firing off thoughts and things because, again, you said it, when your digestive system, when you're wanting to eat donuts, that's the parasites and yeast in your digestive tract that have taken over. They done figured out how to hit the Pavlov's dog button to have you eat a donut because that's what keeps them happy. So once you get those under control, then you don't have those cravings for a lot of carbs and things like that. Yeah. So
and the sugar is what gets me. It's the sugar craving. But for me, the biggest trick that I have found for me personally is the more protein I have, the less sugar I crave.
Exactly. And I can give you a ton of tips on that because I have a whole course on how to crush your cravings. Because they were like, how do you stay on a diet? How do you keep your weight off? I said, I crave absolutely nothing. And you looking at somebody that used to eat ice cream for breakfast. If it was ice cream in the house, I didn't get no sleep.
Can you tell by looking at her, for people who are seeing this podcast, you can't tell that by looking at her. She's gorgeous.
Man, I'm telling you, it was not cute. Maybe I'll pull up a picture. You can show some before pictures before you send out the podcast. But it was just crazy. I told myself I couldn't have ice cream. And if there was ice cream in the house, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I was eating ice cream. And I would eat all the ice cream and tell myself, okay, I'm not going to do that again. Does that happen to anybody besides me? But some of the things that triggers that is having an overabundance of yeast and parasites in your system. Getting your digestive tract in line, cut all those cravings out. Yes, too. We talked about the first brain. That second brain, your actual brain, your first brain, it needs carbohydrates and it needs fat. Your brain is, you want to guess what percent your brain is fat?
I have no idea.
It's about 60% fat.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you go on a fat-free diet, it's starving.
And
Exactly.
there's a lot of those fat-free
Yeah,
diets that exist, and everybody is like
that's right.
trying
You
to
can't eat.
avoid fat like crazy, but you don't
Yeah,
want to avoid the fat. You want the fat. It's the
you
other
want,
stuff you don't want.
and it's a specific fat that you don't want. But all of since they said fat, then it was everybody cut it out. But it's called trans fat. If you look up something that says trans fat, that means they've added hydrogenated oils to it. Please avoid that as a business owner because hydrogenated oils give you the same feelings that they say it triggers Alzheimer
Hmm.
because your body doesn't recognize it. It's literally bouncing around in your brain. Your mouth thought it was fat. Your body thought it was fat. It got up to the brain, was like, what the heck is this? And it doesn't know what to do with it. So that trans fat literally ends up clogging your arteries and blocking up your brain.
Ah.
When you see the fried potato chips, anything that says trans fat means it's a hydrogenated oil. Now, if you got your good fat, you're talking coconut oil, olive oil, palm oil, those oils get in an abundance because you need it in your brain. Pretty much that and carbs. Please don't go on a carb free diet.
There are a lot of carb-free diets out there too. I remember when I was younger, my dad was into the Atkins
Yeah,
diet.
yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm gonna tell you the one diet that I recommend for all entrepreneurs. Period. Everybody. Period. One, and I don't even call it a diet. It's called an eating plan that I tell everybody, please do this one. But back to the brain, it is 60% fat, about 20%, 25% protein, and the other 5, 10% is water. So
Mhm.
that's why when you don't give your brain enough water, it's allocating. It's going, okay, I'm getting what I need, and the rest of y'all can just kind of, make it out for yourself.
Figure it
So
out.
figure it out. Y'all just have to figure it out because if I don't get taken care of, we're done. So a
Right.
lot of times, entrepreneurs, I tell them, drink some water before you go to bed. I mean, yeah, you may have to get up and use the bathroom, but some of that restless sleep, not being able to sleep, is dehydration. It's that your brain is actually up reallocating water, robbing Peter to pay Paul, and Peter and Paul are broke. Now it's going, look, we got to do something. So you really, if you want to get a deep night's sleep as an entrepreneur, 30 to 60 deep breaths,
Mm.
will oxygenate your system and drink some warm lemon water, and you will have a really good night's sleep because the brain won't be up having to reallocate water. You gave it some.
Hmm.
And then I said that
Nice.
what I say about that carb thing, don't go on a carb free diet because your brain actually need carbs. I look at my friends and I tell them, I said, you're on that carb free diet. They're like, how can you tell? They got this weird look in their eye. I'm like, I can tell that look, ain't nobody home. Could you please eat some carbs? Then
The
they mean
lights
it.
are on, but everybody's gone away.
Nobody home. I'm like, oh, that is not a good. I said, girl, here's some vitamin D for that because vitamin D will help you quit craving carbs, so you don't have to eat as many, but you do need some.
Yeah.
Why we do all or nothing thing when it comes to eating?
Yeah. It isn't the key moderation. It's
And
moderate
yeah,
everything in
balance.
moderation, right? Everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation and balance. So set that plate up. Half of it fruits and vegetables and greenery stuff. A little bit of carb, a little handful of carb, a little handful of meat, and that's how you eat. Period. Fresh fruit or
Mm-hmm.
vegetable at every meal. So yeah, and I know you wanted to cover meal prepping. I don't meal prep, so because I don't cook, I don't have no kids, no husband, great relationship with my mom. I have all the time in the world, but I still don't cook. I just got kicked when I feel like it. But I do
Okay.
have some tricks for eating on the go. So what
Yes.
is the hardest part? Like you have a tough day, Terry. What's the hardest part about you getting what you need to get in it?
So I am learning now that right now we're in this stay at home period. So
Yeah,
while
yeah.
we're recording this. So right now I'm
Mhm.
learning to better allocate time in my day to get away from the computer. Otherwise
Okay.
I will sit at the computer for too long. But my
Yeah.
biggest thing is I don't really like to cook.
Okay.
Um, I would much rather just have simple grab and go things. So what I've gone
Mhm.
to is hard boil up eggs because those are quick and easy. They have these
I
like
lied.
cheese and nut snack things that you can buy
Uh-huh.
at the grocery store that are like 8 to 7 or 8 grams of protein. I grab those.
Uh-huh.
Or an avocado, honestly. I take an avocado and I
Slice
slice it
it.
and I just eat it with a
Eat it.
spoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I recommend to all my entrepreneurs. Have handy, grabbable, quick snacks because that's how you're going to eat. You're not going to sit down and have a full meal. I do ask that you plan a full meal, Ruth Chris style, once a month, so you can have something to look forward to, and just feel like a princess. But that's another story. But the things that I buy on a regular basis is the little cups of yogurt, because I can do that quickly. I'll get some berries. I'll have berries in the refrigerator. I'll have almonds, a handful of almonds. I'll have meal replacement bars. I'll have fruit. If I can already peel it and have it in a bowl, like especially when the cuties come out and a mandarin, or I like the little guys, and I put them up in a bowl. I can just have a quick handful of that. But if you have potato chips, if you have cookies, if you have Little Debbie's in your house, especially during the quarantine, you will leave Big Deborah at the end of the 30 days.
That's right. Yeah, you got to keep that stuff out of your house.
You got to keep it out of your house. And a little bit of it, because you don't want to just totally, whatever you say you can't have, that's what you're going to be thinking about all the time.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, if I'm going to have some chips in my house, it has to be jalapeno chips, kettle cooked in the right oil. Mm-hmm. So that's what I have in the house. So that's my treat snack or what have you.
We have corn chips, or we have popcorn. Yeah.
You have a plan for, and that's why I try to encourage people, have a plan for that busy day when you can't eat. This is what I'm going to eat today, because I'm going to have an apple, I'm going to have an orange, I'm going to have, quick hand food instead of the little Dunkin' Donut minis.
Yeah, stay away from those. Yeah, because you will end up in a bag of those, and that bag will be gone in 2 days.
A mini is a maxi. You know what I'm saying? If you eat that is a mini, you end up being a maxi. So you definitely want to do that. So just have quick on the go while you're on a conference call or whenever you're in between. And one of the things I do like to make as my go-to treat snack is graham cracker, honey graham cracker with a little peanut butter on it. Because you get the protein, you get a quick carb, I might even put some cream cheese and then the peanut butter, because I want some good fat in there. It gives a little different flavor. And that and a glass of almond milk is my Oreo cookie. Because I used to eat leaves of Oreo cookies.
No. You can't lose weight if you're eating sleeves of Oreo cookies. No. Yeah.
It's just too much sugar. And one of the things that people think sugar does shoot you up, and you do think for a while for a little bit, but that sugar rush actually does such a detriment to your body. It slows down your thinking. So if you're going to get your sugar up really quick, I suggest an orange. If you feel that dip, if you've eaten too long, eat an orange first. That will get your blood sugar level up right, so you can make a sensible decision for what you're going to eat next.
Yeah.
In your mouth next. But if you are eating when you're shaking like this, oh, you grazing. You eating way longer than you need.
Whatever you can get your hands on for as long as you can. Yeah.
Gino's pizza rolls sound like a great meal when you shake it like that, right? Fast as it, yeah. And that doesn't work. Yeah, it tears up the scale, and it slows you down. So that's the two things you just really don't want to do.
So when you mention a lot of fruit, so I guess the question is, how much fruit is too much fruit? Because if you're still trying to monitor your sugar intake, you don't want to have too much fruit in a day either.
Yeah, and that's another misnomer. Sugar is not sugar. When people, so the same people, now I do counsel some people to have, health issues like diabetes. I'm not a doctor, I'm just a certified nutritional counselor. And the same people that will eat a donut will balk at drinking a naked drink that has 75. They knew exactly how many grams of sugar are in a naked drink. 75. They told me. I never even looked. I saw the nutritional value, 1,000 grams of vitamin C, all the antioxidants that help your body's skin glow and stuff. They didn't see any of that. So I was like, I said the sugar in a donut is refined sugar, is fried fat. A donut is basically a fat pill. Take this pill if you want to get fat, because it has all the scenarios, the worst case scenarios for getting fat wrapped up in one thing. And oh, by the way, let's put some glazed sugar on top of it and then eat it for breakfast. But one of the things that people don't know is natural sugar is absorbed differently in your body, and it sends out a different signal. You actually satisfy your body. It doesn't shoot your sugar up. It takes time to process it. And fruits actually have fiber if you're eating it whole. And it has vitamin A, C, or E, things that your body needs, that it's looking for. The sugar in a donut, it could be the same 75 grams, but it doesn't have the same effect. The unnatural sugar, the sugar that is processed, that's on donuts, that's in Little Debbie's, that's in your favorite snack cakes, those sugars cause inflammation. Now, if I can give you the biggest tip on how not to gain weight, it ain't fat that you're fighting. It's not carbs that you're fighting. The number one thing you're fighting is inflammation. And unfortunately, processed sugar is the highest inflammatory thing that you can put in your body.
And Dr. Mark Hyman is a pretty big, well-known doctor out in the cyber universe, but he's written a book. He's written several books actually on nutrition and wellness. And one of the things he talks about is the biggest misnomer in the medical world is the biggest killer is heart disease. It's not. The biggest killer is inflammation.
Because a heart disease is just a secondary effect of having an inflamed body. I've gotten people that had congestive heart failure get the inflammation down by eating garlic, taking their meds. I said, don't want you to get off your medication, but garlic, your turmeric, cayenne pepper, these are things that get rid of mucus and inflammation in your body. That quercetin in that apple, the red apple specifically, that reduces, that's why I say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. It has fiber, nutrients, and it reduces inflammation. That's your three things that you're working on. So if you can just get rid of inflammation in your body, then that's the thing. An impacted bowel causes inflammation, brain fog, and inflammation. So I tell people, I said, don't fight fat, don't fight carbs, fight anything that causes you to swell. Even as an entrepreneur, I had to give up a specific food. I hate to mention it because I don't want people, but it was Chinese food. I had to give it up. I know. It wasn't the Chinese people's fault. It's the fact that my body is allergic to MSG, monosodium glutamate. So I had to give up Chinese food and I had to get away from, and sodium nitrate. So I'm allergic to sodium nitrate and monosodium glutamate. So I had to change my mayonnaise because mayonnaise had it's a fattening agent that makes things taste better. And sodium nitrate is what they put in bacon and in sausage to keep it red longer. It has nothing to do with because people don't buy brown meat. It's a psychological thing. So they put a whole bunch of salt in it. Well, that salt was causing my toes to swell. And I didn't look cute in my sandals, but the food tasted good. My throat, then maybe I wouldn't have, because if you have an anaphylactic reaction to something, like say if you're really allergic to fish and then your throat closes off, you don't eat no more fish, right?
Yeah, you're not doing that.
One EpiPen episode and you're like, oh, that'll never happen again. But since my feet just kind of swelled, it was like, oh, my sandals are a little too tight. I didn't really make the association. But then when I started looking at the reaction, every time I ate anything that was heavy in salt, fast food with bacon, they put, I don't know, bacon was more salty. I don't know what it was. So as soon as I cut out Chinese food, I lost about 15 pounds.
Wow.
It was just amazing. So I eat it sparingly. Every once in a while, I'll treat myself to some General Tso's chicken. But that swelling, if you're as an entrepreneur, that swelling is slowing you down as well.
Okay. So
sugar and anything that you are allergic to, watch it. If you eat something and it makes you sleepy and it makes you swell, even if you love it, it's costing you your business. So let it go.
And maybe allow it as a treat every once in a while, but
you can't make it your mainstay.
Can't make it a mainstay. I know for me, one of my weaknesses for a long time was soda. And I went from having like 2 or 3 cans of soda a day. Okay. A day to having no soda a day.
Was it regular soda or diet soda?
Regular soda, because for me, it's the after, that aspartame after.
Yeah. Aspartame. That's a bad taste.
Yeah. And so regular soda, but I went to not having any at all. And I was like, I lost like 10 pounds, but it wasn't like such a massive loss. But I was like, okay, so I just really enjoy a soda from time to time. Like, I don't feel like I need to not have it in order to lose weight, but I also feel like I don't need to have 2 or 3 cans of it every day. Right.
See, that's a healthy attitude toward it. I said that ice cream thing, I'm telling you, it was literally a psychological drag. How I got over the ice cream thing, and again, I have a whole class on crushing your cravings. I ate ice cream every day.
Yeah.
Now, this was the deal. I could have a half a cup of ice cream. It had to be Breyers, and I had to have some fresh fruit with it and some nuts. That's what I would do. That was my treat every single day for about 30 days. So now I eat ice cream once every 6 to 8 months because I really don't have I can eat ice cream anytime I want to, but I don't have a want for ice cream like I used to.
Anymore. Yeah.
I don't recommend that. I mean, consult your doctor and your physician before you try anything, that's outside of your regular routine. But that was one of the ways I crushed my cravings. I put rules around it, how much I would have, but telling myself I couldn't have any. Oh, I can eat pizza too. I eat pizza, but instead of eating 7 or 10 slices of pizza like I used to, now it's one slice of pizza, a dark green salad, a glass of water, and an apple. I still eat pizza.
Right. And we'll do pizza too, but we do homemade pizza instead of ordered from the store. And we'll take the like Pillsbury dough. Because I've never worked at a pizza shop, so I don't know how they do the whole pull the pizza dough. Like, I don't know how they do that. So I just get the Pillsbury dough, but we'll make our own pizza with fresh vegetables, and I'll make my own pasta sauce in the slow cooker. And so I'll use some of that on the dough as the sauce. And so it's all fresh ingredients that we're putting on it. And we'll still only do that once a week, maybe. So we're not doing pizza all the time, but we're also not having pizza. We don't feel like we can't have pizza. We can have pizza. Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to tell my entrepreneurs. It's like, you got to give a variety in your diet. If you don't, you'll burn out, doing the same things. But it's a matter of how you start your day for breakfast. I don't care what time of day you start your breakfast. What you break your fast with is the most important thing. If you want to crave sugar all day long, have sugar for breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to control your eating, get it down, so that you're eating, have a heavy protein, something with some fiber in it, and drink a lot of water and some good fat, because that will give your body what it needs. And you'll be able to make power through your day a lot better as if you had a donut and a cup of coffee for breakfast.
And so what Brian and I do, we actually will have a banana smoothie shake. So it's a green, we use the Amazing Grass greens from Amazon. We have a plant-based protein that we use. So it's not a whey protein, but it's a plant-based protein. And we'll put that together in a blender with our either our almond milk or our Lactaid, because we'll drink Lactaid instead of regular milk because it doesn't have the lactose in it. And we'll mix that up for breakfast, and that's really good. And I find not only is it filling, it's got some protein in it. It's got 30 grams of protein in it. It's going to stick to me for a little bit. But it's also really nutritious too, because it's got all sorts of vitamins in it. So we'll do that for breakfast, and that really helps set us up for good brain all day.
So the only thing I would suggest you add to that is like a capful of olive oil.
He does occasionally put some olive oil in it. He doesn't. He uses like a tablespoon.
A tablespoon to capful.
Yeah, because it encapsulates some of the chalkiness of it, so it makes it smoother. Yeah,
it does. It smooths it out. And again, this is the first thing in the morning. You want to give your brain good fat, not just vegetables. Bananas. I'm not a banana fan. Okay, only because I'm allergic to bananas. So of course I wouldn't be a fan unless you cook it, like whatever, the uncooked banana, the enzyme. I mean, I didn't figure this out until it was like a cook. I thought I was being a cooking snob, but you make banana pudding, right? So I had friends who were making banana pudding that they didn't bake. It was like a no-bake recipe. What good Southern person doesn't bake their banana pudding? So if they made that quick one where you put the pudding and all this stuff, you put the crackers, I was sick as a dog. Grandma, I could eat it. Well, my grandmother baked her banana pudding. So whatever the baking did killed the enzymes in the banana. So that's how I discovered my no cooking friends, is how I discovered I was allergic to bananas, because I'd never eaten a banana. I just ate them in banana pudding or banana nut bread,
Right.
So, our bananas are genetically modified. They have no seeds. and then there's enough sugar in the banana to kind of bind up your system. So for me, it really made me ill, and it shut you down. So for my clients that have a case of, their bowels are kind of out of sequence, I tell them to eat a banana to shut them down. So they can't go, won't be going too much.
Right.
Yes.
It's like nature's cheese.
Ammonium AD.
It's nature's cheese. If you want to be bound up, have a banana and you'll be good.
It'll shut you down like real quick. Something about lactose intolerance. That just means your body's missing a bacteria, lactase, that would actually help your body digest milk. So you already have an indication that your microflora, your flora is out of balance. So definitely look at getting a good probiotic. Anything that can help your gut health is what you want to do. Because again, where's your second brain? So I take a bacterial, it's like 7 to 10 strands, and I take it with my yogurt, because the yogurts on the market are fake unless you're making it at home in your Instapot. I recommend everybody get one, make your own home baked or yogurt. But yeah, they don't have enough in there. So I just put some probiotics in my yogurt and eat it in the morning, so that I can have some good gut flora first thing in the morning and some good protein.
That's a good idea. Yeah, because I have noticed both me and my husband have a lactose intolerance. We're not allergic to lactose, but
don't
for
process
me, if I have too much milk or too much cheese or too much dairy of any kind, I can't breathe. It clogs up my nose, and my sinus cavity goes crazy.
Yeah. So if you want to enjoy those type of things, just take a really good probiotic, especially if you've been on an antibiotic. Antibiotics kill all your bacteria, not just the bacteria it's looking for. It goes in and cleans house. It's like if you ever grew up in a household where you had like 5 or 6 kids, if one person did it and then nobody told who did it, then I'm going to beat everybody in the house to make sure I got the right one. That's basically what an antibiotic does. It has no respect of person. It's swinging, and it's literally getting rid of everybody in the house. So you have to actually actively replace your bacteria with, I try to do it with food. I'm a certified nutritional counselor. I tell people supplements. Everybody's like, I'm going to take this supplement. I'm going to take this pill. I said, supplement by word says in addition to, not in replace of. Ta-da. So your foods that are good bacteria, you got kombucha, you got kimchi, miso, kefir milk. Oh, sauerkraut. Have I named this before? Yeah, avocados. Can you tell? I tell people this all the time. Get it in your diet. And then, again, I put a couple packs in my probiotics that I get in a little pool pack, and I stir it up in my yogurt as a supplement. What you think? Supplementation.
Yeah. Well, and I've heard this before, and it might have actually even been from you, that our bodies can heal themselves if we give it the right material to do so. And the right material to do so comes through our food. So if what we are eating is chemical, is processed, is fake, then we are what we eat. We've all heard this before. We are what we eat. So if all that we're eating is chemical, processed, fake, our brains aren't going to be able to function the way that they need to.
And I'm glad you said that, because it gave me two things that helped me with keeping my weight off, and all the things that I've talked about. Is how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I've been a district sales manager, managing businesses, and my whole job was to keep everybody in supply. Matter of fact, for one retailer I worked for, I had my supplies down so pat that the other stores would always come to me for their supplies, because I had it on lock, because I was not running out of bags. I wasn't running out of register tape. I did not run out of money. They were like, they couldn't even give change out. I'm like running stuff to different people. And I said, if I can do that for a retail establishment, what does my body need? I'm in charge of making sure it has enough probiotics to digest that food. I'm in charge of making sure I got enough water so that I don't wake up and my lips are white. They're so dry from not having enough water in my body. So if you got to know what you need. And to your point, I always say we live in a miracle. When I saw my body, when I gave my body what it needed, it just changed exponentially to the point where I didn't even get recognized at a family reunion. They're like, who brought you? I said, Uncle James, it's me. What? He recognized my voice, but he didn't recognize what I look like. And I said, we truly live in a miracle. You give your body what it needs and it will reset itself. The job is to listen to when it's telling you something's wrong. It doesn't have a gauge like a gas gauge in your car that says, hey, I'm running empty on protein. Give me more protein. It will give you signals like, let's say if you're out of potassium, your legs and your hands, your feet start cramping. It'll give you a signal like that. Or you're eating something that doesn't agree with you. Your face will start swelling. Or your feet. So it tells you, but there's not a specific gauge that tells you what you're missing. But if you keep giving it stuff, it's like a kid. You know how kids get everything they want? They just lay on the floor and go, Okay, baby, did you need a ball? Did you need a rattle? Did you need a blanket? Okay, the blanket. That's what I needed was the blanket. So your body's doing the same thing. It can't specifically tell you. Now, it will send you signals. Unfortunately, we misinterpret the signals. It says, I need an orange. I need some vitamin C. Get something orange. And what do we get? Doritos. The color was right. We got the right color signal, wrong nutritional value. So it does send out some signals.
Yeah.
We just have to learn how to read them. So as an entrepreneur, treat your body you have to supply it with rest. You got to make sure it's thoroughly detoxed so it'll function properly. You got to make sure it has the right amount of protein, the right amount of fiber, potassium, calcium, your trace minerals. You really have to make sure that you take care of you as a corporation so that you can function at your optimum. Or you keep driving, and it's like nobody drives their car when the wheel is you have a flat tire. Just keep driving it, and you're like, it'll make it. No, so as entrepreneurs, and put some air in that tire, put some water in that body, put some rest in that body, get some nutrients, put some snacky food. And again, if you're going to snack on stuff, have the stuff that's going to give you nutrients, and then eat something crazy. But if you're going to snack, if 80% of your diet is snacking on nutritional food and the other 20% is maybe a drive-through at McDonald's, you will be almost 100% better shape. Seriously.
Awesome. I so appreciate the advice, the guidance, the knowledge that you've shared with us, with our listeners today. One more question for you. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you? How can they find you? How can they follow you?
Well, I'm on social media. Instagram is Audretta's 411, so you can follow me there. AUDRETTAS 411 on Instagram. So I guess it's at Instagram.com. So you can find me there. You can actually book a 15-minute consultation with me, totally free. My whole goal is to get you set straight. So my first conversation is how to crush those cravings. If I can't get that under control, we're going to be months down the line. So www.calendly.com/Audretta's 411. And then last but not least, where else did you want to follow me? Can you just call me? You can call me 336-471-7672 and just put Terry's tips in the text, and then I'll know where you came from, and then we can set up something like that for you as well.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing these great tips. I hope all of our listeners took notes. I know that all of the advice that you have given over the years is so good, and I so appreciate knowing you and being able to call you a friend. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Hey, we'll see you guys after all this is over, and we'll be a lot healthier mentally and physically.
That's right. Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie.